What up, Moto fam? All my peeps out there. Trying this DJI mic setup again with the Insta X4. This time with the gain extremely low because my bike's just louder than the gates of hell opening up. Not a bad problem to have though. But for video vlogging, it is not the best. But come along with me today while I take a stroll down to pick up a couple things. Oh, dang it, wrong way. Okay, there we go. Yes, my garage is full of bikes. And my bike is full of garage. Alrighty then. Waking the neighborhood up. I hope nobody was taking a nap, as they are now. Straight pipe life. Loud pipes save lives though, right? Hopefully this amount of decrease in gain will make it so that you guys can actually hear me better. That's the hope anyway. That baby warm up. It's a nice day, even though the sun goes down so early. There we go. Oh, and we're off. Take the back way down there today so that I don't hit highway speeds and you guys can hear me better, I hope. Well, let's jump right into my awesome rant. Something that was bugging the heck out of me as of late, and that as long as I've been in the riding community has seemed to become very rare. And this, to put it simply, is I'm really disappointed at how unmotivated a lot of people are to make money, you know? Like, I don't have a lot of friends. I don't have very many friends at all. And that number's just dwindled more and more as time's gone on. Bike lane. Warm up wheelie. But I become very disheartened by the amount of riders that are just completely unambitious. Green light. They have no motivation. Most of these riders, they live in their parents, you know, which I'm not ultra shocked. I'm not saying like all the riders got to be super accomplished, but
you know, the average age of most of these riders today is probably like 18 to 20. Oh, look at those little bikes. Yeah, they're electric. Gay. Pass. So bumpy. Amazing how great a job they did fixing up those little patches on the road. Not. But yeah, no, the average age of riders is pretty young. It's pretty rare that I will find riders that are my age, aka dinosaur age, ancient by riding standards. But, and you know, it's a different world today. The kids are total pussies. They're spineless, they're weak, they're unmotivated. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love that there's, you know, a new group of young riders. It just takes some time for them to kind of figure things out, but it's a hell of a lot better than an entire generation of lame gamers, you know, that just sit in front of their consoles and their computers just... I'm not going to complain about that, but I don't know, I remember being really young, and at the time I was a pro motocross racer, so there's just a lot of it that I don't relate to, because I was motivated as hell. I was chasing championships, I was traveling all over, I was trying to, like, you know, come up. I was full sponsored, like I had the whole rig, mechanic, bikes, all of it, company vehicles, you name it. I was like full-blown sponsored. And my concerns at that age were very different, you know. I was out of my mind at that age. I was just all over the place. I just wanted to go fast, race everything. But I had like an ambition, you know. I wanted to achieve a lot. I wanted to grow and build things, and part of the reason why I had stopped racing and went in the military was at one point racing just felt so small. I just kind of had this epiphany, you know. And it was like all of a sudden I couldn't bring myself to care about the championships and stuff like I used to. I wanted to build more than just, you know, a history of racing, which I love racing. Don't get me wrong, it's my bread and butter. I love racing on every level. I will always love it. And I plan on getting back into it and just getting a bike again, going to the track, having some local amateur nights and stuff. And I plan on doing it on the street bikes as well. Find some of the street tracks, the MotoGP stuff, all that good jazz, and, you know, trying my hand out there. But I wanted more than just that. My concerns for me, for what I wanted to accomplish, just, it wasn't enough. And I don't know, when it comes to making friends as an ambitious person, it can get pretty difficult, because you want friends that share ideologies, which is true of any friend group, you know. But when you really want to go above and beyond, you really want to make waves in this world and make changes and want to level up big time. Not like, oh, I just want to have my house and buy a new car. Like, no, I want to be rich. Like, I want to be insanely wealthy. And I'm willing, and I've done many things in my life to achieve that. I have gone through risk that I don't think any sane person was willing to take. But that's a whole different story. That's a nice signal, buddy. That's a whole different life saga, which, if you guys really want it, it involves a lot of crazy stuff. A once upon a time kind of story. But yeah, I find it very hard to relate to anyone these days, and even harder to relate enough on any level to be friends with somebody. Ooh, we got a biker up here. What's he got? A little Sportster, I think. Look at a tiny guy. Well, I didn't get time to say hi. But yeah, I don't know. At the end of the day, I just want to have friends that I can share a goal with, that I can share dreams and have the same passions as me for success, building in life, growing, truly accomplishing things, having something to your name, to your legacy. And I don't think that many people have the urge for that anymore. A lot of people are just trying to get by, and it's hard for them. It's really hard for them to motivate themselves to be able to remember that drive that they had when they were younger, when they weren't held down by so many negative thoughts and influences. And I just want people to get back to that state of mind where they believed anything was possible. And that sounds so corny, but you know, that's that's part of why I do this YouTube channel. It's like, I don't care if this ever blows up or not, but I'm doing it because I'm passionate about it, because I love doing it. I love dispensing my wisdom. I love helping the next generation. I love teaching people about bikes, riding, all the goods and ins and outs of it. It's something I've done my whole life since I was a kid. And there's definitely a void in the proper guidance that a lot of these new riders need. But you know, these are passion projects. These are things that, if it blows up, cool, that'd be awesome. If I could make money doing this, like, I would never do anything else as far as like working for anyone went. But I run multiple goals at one time, and I've got a very clear and intended goal that I plan to achieve. And this is just one of those things that I call them my sanity projects, where it's just like, you know, you get so overwhelmed and you get so just burnt out, but then you get to just do these little things that you like, and it helps you take a step back, rewind. This is definitely one of those things for me. But I don't know, if people could kind of just unplug themselves from the rat race, I think a lot of people's goals would be different. You know, one of the things I like to ask people often is like, what's your dream job? You know, that's kind of how, that's like my little secret shit test for when I'm trying to make a friend with somebody. And it's kind of a trick question, but the whole point of that question is, the dream is to not need a job. You know, the dream is to be rich enough to do whatever you want. The dream is to work for yourself and do what you want. And whenever somebody's like, oh, you know, I want to be a doctor or this or that, I'm kind of like, okay. They're not thinking the same way I am. Because if they really thought outside the box, their dream wouldn't be to make somebody else rich. You know what I mean? So that's kind of my little shit test. But it's surprising how few people, when you ask that question, ever have an actual answer. Oh, Jesus Christ. Wow, you could have gone a little wider there, buddy. Jeez Louise. Learn how to drive. Oh, perfect. Front row. Okay. We're here. Here to get the goods. But yeah, no, I mean, it's tough. It's tough making friends in this world today. It's even tougher to have friends that are going in the same direction as you, you know. It's really, it's a little, what's the word, disheartening, you know. You want to connect with people, you want to network, you want to build relationships that last and have friends that are there and authentic. So it gets hard when you don't have when you don't have the kind of like connections that you really want, and you just kind of gotta say, screw it, I'm just gonna do it alone. It's a little bummer at first. It's like, even with this content, I would love to have somebody do this content with me, another person to like brainstorm with and bounce stuff off and have their own energy to bring to the table and everything. But there's not a lot of people out there that want to do it. But it's not the worst. As Carl Jung said, that if you do your work truly and intentfully, unknown allies will appear. And that's a philosophy that I live greatly by. So, I don't know. If you have a lot of friends in the moto community that are like authentically there and like real OGs and stuff with you, more power to you. That's a blessing. Be thankful for that. If you're just kind of solo and everything, don't feel bad. That's kind of part of the scene. Birds of a feather flock together, and sometimes there are just very few birds of a feather to run into. So if you are one of the newer riders and you're starting out, don't let yourself get down. Don't get too bummed out or anything like that. It takes time to meet people. It takes time to kind of comb through all the BS and all the weirdos and stuff like that. And there are plenty of retards in the bike community. A lot of babies dropped on their heads too much as a baby and ended up getting a bike. But don't let it get you down. Don't let it. If you do feel lonely in the bike world, don't. It's okay to feel lonely, but try not to let it get to you so much. There's only so much you can do until just where you're going and where somebody else is going align right. So, but as always, there's the internet today. We can network so efficiently now, especially with riding groups, things like that. And just general outreach, through social media, that we're able to link with people so much easier. So like, if you want to link and you're in the SoCal area, hit me up. It's Hyper Bunny R1. That's my IG. I don't do much through it because I put most of my effort and time into YouTube, but hit me up. Hit me up for a ride, bro. Or broette, whoever. But, drop your thoughts in the comments. Give me your $2, because 2 cents ain't worth shit. Have a good discussion, I hope. But until then, Bunny out, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.